Welcome to the stage, delivering up her talk, Watch One Comedy and Call Me in the Morning, Linnea Beyer.
I'm here to tell you that it's totally okay to sit on your butt for 2 hours and just watch a movie. You don't have to make a to-do list, you just sit there and enjoy it. As a film curator, I love the moving image. I think it's the most important art form in this day and age. But it really upsets me when people say that it's just mindless entertainment, because the truth is it's anything but. There's so much stimuli in films that your brain is operating on so many cylinders. There's so much stuff going on. When you pick a film, you have to know who you are to understand what you should watch. There are two guys in Israel at the Weizmann Institute who grabbed 5 people, threw them in functional MRI scanners, and watched their brains while they watched the good, the bad, and the ugly. What they discovered, only 30 minutes. What they discovered is that our neocortexes function pretty much the same way when we're watching a film, and that's how we comprehend it. So that's facial recognition, language, but the prefrontal cortex, where you figure out what the movie means to you, we're all very different on that. When you sit down and you watch a movie, you're giving up control. When you're in a theater, somebody else is running the movie, somebody turns down the lights, and you have nothing to do about it. You also are in a large group, and you kind of give yourself up to the group mentality. Your brain switches over from the left hemisphere to the right hemisphere, which is much more emotional. And because this information is being transferred emotionally rather than logically, your tendency to suppress your emotions triggers an emotional release. When you watch films, your prefrontal cortex and your neocortex are at odds. You know that that dinosaur isn't real, that's your prefrontal cortex, but the neocortex is telling you, run away, Jeff Goldblum, run away! Your prefrontal cortex, which is the seat of higher learning, is working so hard when you're watching a film. There are actually these really cool things called mirror neurons that are in your prefrontal cortex, and they make it so that when you watch somebody do something, anything, kicking a small child, you, and it's not good, but I'm just saying, when you watch them do that, you understand not only the action, but why they do it and how they felt about it. So if you're watching Titanic, like this gentleman is, when Rose loses Jack, and I'm sorry if I spoiled that, you cry, because he obviously identifies with her. Now, if you have a bad day, you might want to watch something really happy and upbeat, where there's singing and laughter and small children, and Julie Andrews, she's just the perfect spoonful of sugar to make a bad day go down. When I have a bad day, I feel a little bit differently. Action movies can be good for you. They simulate the danger detecting system in your brain that releases neurochemicals that give you a high. They also are cathartic. So when you cut me off in traffic, I feel like the good guy and you're the bad guy. Laughter is the best medicine. Everybody can pretty much agree on that. The Dalai Lama even says you should only watch comedies. What it does is it actually boosts your immune system and gets rid of stress. So watching a film that's funny is actually the same as doing cardiovascular activity. I mean, it really lowers your blood pressure. So do you want to get on the elliptical? Or do you want to watch Airplane? Or both at the same time? Scary movies are a little bit more controversial. People tend to love them or hate them. If you hate them, don't watch them. If you love them, be careful. They can increase your heart rate. They also release chemicals like cortisol, testosterone, and adrenaline into the body. If you have a bad heart condition, then you do not need to be watching intense films like this, all right? It can really cause a heart attack. If you have trauma in your past, like an exorcism, you don't want to watch The Exorcist. It's just going to bring up flashbacks, and you don't want to go through that. Romantic films release oxytocin into the bloodstream. This is a chemical that is associated with the pleasure of bonding and empathy. So guys, watch chick flicks with your ladies, because then they get oxytocin and they are pleasured by bonding. The technology with films, yeah, I know, it took a second. The technology is getting greater. So with things like 3D technology, you're more immersed in the environment, and that line between fantasy and reality diminishes. Likewise, it's receiving in the way that if you can take your film wherever you want to go and watch it on an iPad or your smartphone, you're not as immersed in the environment. And some cinephiles think that that's pretty terrible. But I actually think it's nice, because if you have a film that you really love, you can take it with you wherever you go and use it however you need it. So when you are looking for a film to watch, think about who you are, listen to your body, and let your body and your mind be your guide when you pick your next flick. Thank you.